Hey folks, this is Picohan from the North American server, and today's video features a back-to-back Kraken that I played during the Hunt the Bismarck campaign earlier this year. The two ships featured are the Hood and the Scharn, the two premium Tier 7 battleships, and I was fortunate enough to win these ships through forum contests, and I played them quite a bit during the Bismarck campaign. These two games are pretty different in the pacing and the overall feel, and I think they're a good complement to each other in many ways. The first game, it's a bit of a slow start. You'll see I just got damage at the 15-minute mark. Our team kind of went for the A cap, their team kind of went for the D cap, and it's a bit of a stalemate over both of the caps here. What you're going to see, though, is the situation rapidly deteriorate for our team real quick here. This Belfast ran into me. I wasn't sure what he wanted me to do, but eventually he got off me here. I didn't want to push into the cap myself, since there were destroyers and there were still a lot of ships over there. So I'm just trying to pick them off from cover and try to make a move at some point. Shooting at the Fiji because, of course, you should always shoot at cruisers because you can delete them, although unfortunately that was not a deletion. That is the third ship and the fourth ship on our team to go down now. That Baron, if you saw, he just ran in there and I have no idea what he was doing. So things are starting to not look that good. Took some shots at the North Carolina. Probably should have shot the Fiji, but he was very angled. I didn't think it was a good shot. The North Carolina was coming closer, and he seemed to be giving more of a broadside there. And so with 4 ships down, I'm like, okay, maybe we should start trying to do something. But it's only going to get worse for a little bit. Dunkirk trying to push the cap, and I think that's a dumb thing for him to do. His team is ahead, and he doesn't need to do anything risky like that. The Dunkirk is fast, but it doesn't really have any armor. So, coming around the island, I see the Lo Yang is way out, so I feel that I can make a move for this cap. And right here, we're down 5 ships. But the comeback is about to start. So the Dunkirk is very low because he tried to pull this crazy move, and I'm going to finish him off like that. Like I said, I started to go for the cap because I thought the Lo Yang was retreating, but as I'm approaching here, you'll see the cap light up, and I said, nope, 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 nope. Shooting at the South Carolina because he's the only target. Here you can see that once the Lo Yang hit the cap, I got a little bit scared. So I'm going to do a loop and try to let the Belfast spot while I take care of the South Carolina, and hopefully that'll let him take out the Lo Yang. The Belfast should have radar. I don't know if he can spec it in some other way, but he should be able to deal with Lo Yang. This is a broadside turn. It's not that smart a thing to do, but the Hood supposedly has some sort of trailback, and it doesn't take Citadels that well. There goes the South Carolina. The Lo Yang seems to have left the cap, and so once again I'm going to go around and try to support the Belfast as he goes inside. The Loyang appears, and I hope the Belfast can take him. I'm going to try to deal with the Fiji, who will probably have to leave his smoke soon. So, from a 5-ship deficit, we very quickly narrowed down to 2. So, you can see just how quickly things can change, even if a situation looks really bad. The Fiji shows up, takes some shots, but all we get is 1 normal penetration. With the Belfast ahead of me, I'm not too worried about the Loyang's torps, because the Belfast should be able to spot. And so we focus on the Fiji, try to get rid of him, and we take him out. Of course, the last shot is Citadel. Gonna try to secure the cap here since the Belfast doesn't seem to be interested in that, which it's good and bad. I think he should be working on taking out the Loyang. He's a pretty big threat. Now, these torps, I'm seeing them from a mile away, but it's one of those cases where it's very difficult to see where the torps are going. I'm aiming for the crack between the last 2 torps on the left,
Torpedoes, direct front.
and it looks like I'm gonna clear it for the longest time until the last second, when it's like, oh, this torp is gonna hit, which is quite unfortunate. I did get the cap before the torp hit, so I wasn't reset, so that's good. We're still down a ship, but you can see our team is quickly bringing it back.
Problem solved,
I wish I could have seen what that Amagi did. I think he must have shot at somebody and rammed somebody, but whatever the case, he really evened out the score for us. Now it's 4-4. The Loyang seems to have made a misplay. I think he shouldn't have waited there and should have just kept running, because once the Belfast spots him, the Belfast should be able to obliterate him when his health is so low. The Hood is fast, but not fast enough to be up in the action yet, so I'm just trying to take pot shots where I can. At the 8-minute mark, we're finally in the lead. So, the Prince Eugen is trying to rush and presumably torp the Alabama, which may or may not be a good idea, especially since I'm here backing the Alabama up, although the Prince may or may not know that. I fired a salvo, but he missed with a pretty nice dodge there, and it looks like the Alabama is actually going to dodge all the torps. I'm going to take one, but since I run premium consumables, my repair is already up, and we're going to be able to kill secure the Prince. Nick's target is the Ioba. I'm going to try to bring the front guns to bear. And it's a really good hit, but the Belfast is going to fish him off. So, you win some, you lose some. There's only the New Mexico left, and since I have 4 kills, I'm going to try to secure the New Mexico to get the 5th here. He shows up real close. I'm the only person who can actually hit him, but that wasn't a great shot. I'm going for the ramp here because this is the best way to secure a kill, and especially when it's the last ship on their team, there's no reason you shouldn't do it, in my opinion, if you can take him out. the New Mexico doesn't seem to realize that it's the end of the line for him and tries to evade. That was a pretty good salvo, 9,004. And he does some funny maneuvers that make it hard for me to hit him, and this is really going to be a derpy ram. You saw how pretty much all his shells bounce there. That's the problem with New Mexico. A lot of times the lower caliber shells don't penetrate even though you have a lot of them. And the New Mexico grabs himself, and this is the derpiest ram, and I get him with the side of the bow here.
Enemy battleship destroyed.
So, next game here is in the Scharn horse, and I'm going to open up by trying to shoot at this Leander from 18.6. This is and isn't an easy shot. The Scharn horse guns, the shell travel time is really fast, but then the dispersion isn't great. We do get one overpen, but it did seem like he was turning away. Our team is going towards C, which is good because I generally prefer to fight around the C cap on this map. A lot of people seem to like to go A sometimes. I don't really understand it. Second salvo on the Gneiss now because he is broadsiding. But the problem with the Scharn horse is that the shells are very low caliber, and it can be tough to pen stuff from very far away, even though we did get a single pin on that salvo. Ran aground. This was completely unintentional, but I'm just going to reverse off it and keep shooting because I'm not really at risk of anything in this position. The Gneiss now continues to broadside. You'll see the last salvo didn't do anything, but we're going to keep trying since he seems like our best target. That time we got 4 pens for 8,000. That's pretty good at this range. You can see I keep glancing at the Indianapolis. As usual, I want to shoot at cruisers. This ship especially really can punish cruisers due to the number of shots and how quickly the shells travel. The Indianapolis unfortunately backed up behind the island before our salvo got there, but we still got 1 penetration. Fiji looking to escape, so I tried to take a shot at him, but they either missed or they ran into the island. You can see on the minimap our team is pretty clumped up at C while their team is kind of spread out all over the place. It's hard to say really who's in a derpier position. I slow down here because I don't really want to follow the lemming train too much further to the east, and I'm not spotted. I want to try to finish this Gneiss now if we can, but he's getting further and further away, and he's actually a little bit angled. At some point, look at that, 1 over-penetration for 700. At some point, like this guy says, we need to start pushing over to B. I'm kind of looking for a good opportunity, maybe after we can take out this Gneiss now, who unfortunately drops off, but fortunately, wait for it, some shell is going to make contact, and we're going to take him out. So now I'm going to try to turn around. and start going to B. The Fiji... This was a bad shot. It seemed pretty obvious that he was stopping to smoke, and yet I shot ahead of him. I have no idea what the heck was that. Indianapolis is still holed up behind his rock there. I start making a turn towards B, but the smoked up Fiji start to shoot at us, and I decide maybe I want to take a little bit of a longer route, but we do drop off, and it doesn't look like we're going to get respotted, so I think I'm going to just keep trying to make the turn. You don't really want to get shot at by a Fiji for too long because you can't feel as much of the AP pen damage as you could for like HE or something like that. In the meantime, the Cleveland was a good target. Shoot at him, but I don't think we're going to get anything. We got a pen. The Fiji looks like he's working on something else, so this turn, at least for now, is safe to make. The Indianapolis is still camping that island, though he's taken fire from elsewhere. He's pretty low now. The Fiji leaves his smoke, but he gets behind the island before we can do anything. The good thing about the Scharn horse is that the turrets traverse quickly, and you can easily change targets and shoot at the most opportune one. In general, that's the one that's giving you the most broadside, like that Colorado. Only 5,000, but again, not bad from 16 kilometers away. Fiji is trying to run away, but since he's visible, I'm going to take some shots. The Indianapolis is almost dead. 7,000 on the Fiji with over pens and 2 pens. That's a pretty good salvo in my opinion. That was a pretty big salvo, probably from the Fiji. That was what I was kind of worried about in the first place. But now that we have room to maneuver, it's a little bit less bad.
All stations, provide fire support.
Fiji dies. I see the Gnevny with 171, and somehow nobody wants to finish him, so I'm just going to take this shot and secure this guy. Secured.
Destroyer blown up.
I was going to hold this position, but I see the Leander coming and someone actually pings him. So I think I'm going to take one more salvo at one of these broadside battleships and try to go for the Leander. You saw again that I originally was looking at one guy, saw that he was not angled such that I could do effective damage. I switched targets. So Leander is coming in. I think I'm aiming a little bit too low there. I think I'm going to do it again. Unfortunate. These things, the British cruisers, are actually sometimes easier to citadel from the front, since you won't get as much of an overpinning effect. And see, even there, we got 2 pens in the citadel. Belfast takes him out, and now we're actually in the lead. And we're going to try to push the B cap. The Scharn horse ahead of me is probably a little bit overextended, but he's bowing against all of the enemy battleships, which shouldn't be that bad. You'll see that he actually survives for quite a bit in that position, though I'm not sure he is focused the whole time. So that was probably not that great a shot against Nagato, although at this range and at this angle, we're still able to get 3 pens, which is pretty good. I want to go and support that Scharn horse. But I would like our Colorado Nagato to get in the fight as well. Nagato looks like he's backing up, which makes him a good target. Presumably, we should have called target on one of these guys and tried to focus them, because you can see they're all, you know, half health, but still alive. And so that might have been more efficient. But we're getting okay damage for shots at these angles. You gotta remember that in exchange for the small caliber, Scharn horse has a 20-second reload, which is really fast for a battleship. Cleveland shows up over there, and of course try to finish off cruisers. I'm going to take a shot at him. Although we just get an overpen. But now you can see that the Cleveland, he needs to follow the edge of that rock, or he needs to turn in. So this is basically the perfect kill shot, or it should be. And there you go.
You destroyed an enemy cruiser.
The Scharn horse says thank you, but he has 1,500 left, and so I think he's not long for this world. I see that I'm at 4 kills. I want to try to finish the Colorado here, but I think someone else gets it. The Mitsuki looks AFK, so this game is probably in the bag, but I would really like to get
Our victory is in sight.
that Kraken. I said the same thing as I said to New Mexico, but nobody wants to take me up on this. 2,500 from the front, again, not bad considering the angle and the range. I will say that as I rushed this Nagato, I held my shot for just a little bit to see if I could finish him off, and we do get the Kraken on a paltry 84,000 damage.
Our victory is in sight.
And so that's pretty much the game here. I'm gonna tell the Scharn horse, why don't you ram me now? But he doesn't want to have any of that either. That shot was really bad. I think he turned out before the shots landed. I'm gonna get one more salvo here to bring the total damage up a little bit more. But after that, the Graf Spee who put in the chat, it's his kill. It's gonna get it because I'm not gonna get around the island in time. So here's the results screens for both of these games. There's nothing that impressive except for the fact that these were back-to-back Krakens. In the Hood game, you can see we're not even the top of the team. The Belfast did great work. And I think he took out a lot of destroyers to get that 2,300 base EXP. If we didn't end on a ram, maybe we could have got Dreadnought, but whatever. Other game, the damage was even lower. But we did top the team by a little bit, so that's pretty good. Shooting at cruisers probably helped that. We didn't take that much potential damage, we didn't tank that much real damage, but all in all, a solid game, I would say. Look at that Gnevny with the 170 damage. So that's it for this time. Have a nice day.